Hi everyone, my name is Lillian Titus. I am so happy to have you. You're really welcome. Feel free to be in this place. So, if you're joining us over and over again, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for your contribution. And if you are joining us for the very first time, you're very welcome indeed. This is a safe place for people with the big dreams, and no matter how your past is, the future is so bright for you. And make sure you click subscribe to this channel, you turn on your notifications so that you'll be able to see more videos, so that you can be able to impact your life and your loved ones. So today we are talking about something which is very paramount, something called addiction. It's something that people that are becoming I don't know, I can call it addiction phobic. People don't want to talk about it. People don't want to share thoughts about it. They think it's something that is need to be ignored, something like they need to be talking in the low voice. But it's something that is supposed to be able to be addressed so that we can be able to rescue the generation to come, even the new generation or the existing generation. That I've seen in a statistic of 2024, the year that we are in, that half of the youth, they undergo addiction. There are kinds of addiction. When I talk about addiction, I'm not talking about just drug addiction, that people are putting drugs on themselves. You think those are the only ones that are undergoing addiction. But addiction, by just a simple definition that anybody can be able to understand, addiction is any behavior that a person finds relief of a temporary craving, but suffer a long-term consequences, but never give up despite of that negative consequences. That's the addiction. But a lot of people have defined addiction in a different category that have really caused confusion on how to really help people that are in addiction, or people are being addictive. You see, and we see there are people that are saying that legal leaders are saying that addiction is choice. They arrest people who are addictive on the road, they arrest them wherever they are, put them to jail because they believe that addiction is a choice. You choose to be addicted. And also we see them in organizations such as American Society of Addiction Medicine. They believe that addiction is a primary brain problem that mostly is being caused due to genetic reasons, which I'm typically not agree with them. And I want us today to look at addiction in a different spectrum so that we'll be able to help our loved ones. Maybe you have a brother, you have a sister, maybe you have a father, maybe you have a mother, maybe you have yourself that you are suffering from addiction. And addiction, we're not talking about only drugs. Addiction is social media, addiction to sex, addiction to pornography, addiction to shopping, addiction of zooming out, addiction of going to buying things, addiction to just do anything that you know that you cannot control, but there's something that you are getting a certain relief by doing that thing, and whether it affects you in the long run, you don't care about it, you just do it. So I want to tell you today that addiction is not a choice. People don't choose to be addicted. Addiction is not a moral failure. Addiction is not a weakness of character. Addiction is not failure of the will. But addiction is a response of a human suffering. There is a response that people are responded from a suffering that have been going through. And I want you today to take an inventory to be able to understand. And I want to take you back a little bit so that you can be able to know. By this time, you know that I'm very fond of knowing the source of a problem than just fixing the problem. And I know people are looking for problem to be fixed 1, 2, and 3 steps. But I want you to understand so that you'll be able to know and to be able to help other people. A human, and especially a baby, if they have needs that they need, a human needs. And I'll talk about 2 needs that a human need, especially an infant, they need. Then the first thing, the human need attachment. Without attachment, a human cannot survive without attachment. So we have created as human to have attachment with other people and other people to find attachment with us. Failure of having attachment with others, or others failing to get attachment with us, we cannot survive. What do I mean? I mean that's why people will find it, they are lonely, they've ended up to depression, they end up committing suicide. They feel nobody loves me in this world. But people are surrounding, you're surrounded with people, you have people everywhere. Why are you feeling lonely? Because they're failing to attach something is not okay inside. So let me take it to the brain. I know this channel is too much about the brain, but this one is more easy. So when we're talking about the brain, in a brain there's a hormone that has been produced. They are called endorphin. This endorphin, they're the same. They function the same like heroin, marijuana, weed, opiates. They're doing the same work, and that work is they facilitate attachment, they relieve pain. They help you to zone out, to create your own world. So they bring this, they facilitate attachment. You feel like you are loved. They give a sense of belonging. So in a human mind, this thing is being created when you are a baby. These hormones have started generating, they started developing. That's why a baby, they just born, they have a connection with their mother. They have a connection with their father. Because that connection was already being orchestrated or developed using this hormone called endorphin. Now you've understood me. So one scientist, a group of scientists, they've conducted a research. They've done a research concerning the mice. And a baby mice, they're putting the baby mice in a very separated room, and they didn't inject any endorphin inside the mind of the mice. And because they didn't induce that thing, the mice didn't find any sense of wanting a mother, to be surrounded with a mother. They didn't want the protection of a mother. They didn't want that unity with the mother, and that caused them not to be able to survive because they were no longer in that protection of a mother. The same applies to people. When they lost that attachment within themselves, they want to find it from somewhere else. When you cannot produce it from within, you find it from external. So people, when they use heroin, when they use marijuana, when they smoke weed, they find like a little hug, like you're getting a hug from a parent. You feel that belonging, you feel love, you feel relieved from pain, you feel like your thoughts matter, you feel like you're in this world that it's all about you. Another thing that I want you to understand is that attachment is non-negotiable need to a person. Every individual needs a sense of attachment. They need people in around. People that are addictive, your addictive brother, your addicted mother, they need attachment. Another second thing that people they need is a need of authenticity. Authenticity is when your thought matters. I can make it in that simple term. Or authenticity, I can say that is when you feel about something and being able to do that what you feel without scared of any judgment. That is being authenticity. You being yourself. In 1,000 years ago, before Christ, where people they were living without technology, without YouTube, without chat GTP, they were without any opinion from other people, but people were living back in the days, and all the things that were making people to evolve, to create technology and everything is authenticity. They had a thought in their mind and decided to do it, and they make it happen. It's because they were authenticity. But what if you being authentic to yourself is a threat to your attachment and your relationship? What if? So let's use an example of a baby child that is 2 years old maybe, and he's telling a mother that, Mama, I cannot eat dinner unless I eat my cookies, or I have my drink, I need my milk before having dinner. And the mother reacted in a harsh way, in an angry way to a child, is rushing out with words, cursing the baby because of that statement, because the baby refused to eat dinner before cookies. Just because a mother was growing up in an abusive environment and is being surrounded with abusive fathers, his emotion was being undermined, is being humiliated, she was being neglected, and she's portraying those characters to a little child. And she is sending a mother mind is sending a message to a child that good kids do not get angry. But in the mind of a baby is different. The message that a baby receives is not that good kids do not get angry, but a mind of a baby receives that angry kids, they don't get loved. So I feel like I'm not loved if I speak my thoughts. If I tell Mama what I really like, Mama doesn't like a baby who is angry. So I am not loved because I'm an angry kid. You see how the mind intertwine? They are different. So what I'm telling you is, so what a baby will do, a baby will suppress his emotion of being authentic to his parent, to say what he feels, what he wants, because he knows that if I become authentic, I will not be loved, and because I'm not loved, I will lose attachment. And attachment is so important for a child. So a child tends to suppress his own emotions, to go according to the flow, not to hide his sad face, so that he can obtain the attachment. By losing our authenticity, we are losing the connection to ourselves. We are losing the connection that we have within our mind, within our emotions. And that leads to trauma. So what is really trauma is all about? Most people believe that trauma is what happens to you, that your dad abused your mom, that your mom was sexually harassed, or yourself you were sexually abused, or your dad and your mama divorced, or your dad was alcoholism, or you're surrounded with the environment of people that neglected your emotions. So that's what the people believe, and that's not true. What happens to you, that is traumatic. That is not trauma. Trauma is not what happens to you, but trauma is what happens inside of you. And if those things continue show up in your daily life, you continue experience them in your life, they cause a disconnection between yourself and your mind, between yourself and your emotions. That leads to the view of a baby, or to view of your life to change. You are starting having to see the world as a negative view, instead of a negative picture about other people, and you start having a negative picture towards yourself. It's because of that disconnection that has taken place. And that thing now leads us to addiction. So addiction is not a primary problem, but addiction is an attempt to escape from the problem, is an attempt to solve a problem. So addiction is a solution to a person that has been under traumatic experience in a child or effect. So you can never tell somebody to stop addiction if you don't know what he's getting by being addicted. There's something somebody is attaining by being addicted that he cannot attain if he stays sober. So what does the person receive by being addicted that we can provide to that person, so that he will not find a need to solve his problem by being addicted? And that person that comes to a position of realizing that addiction originates from a childhood. There's a lot of suffering that happens in the mind of a person that causes the person to occur the way they occur in the present day that we're living right now. So now, the problem is not to find what happens to you 10 years or 30 years ago, or what they did to you, or what really happens inside of you, but it's how you take an inventory to realize how the thing that has happened inside of you, how are they manifesting outside? And to know how they manifest outside, how are you going to do that? How are you going to know this is how they manifest in my life, or how the trauma happens to my life? Is by yourself, to go within yourself. It's by you connecting to yourself. And that's what the people they are calling, they're going to rehab, to recover. Recovering is obtaining something that you've lost, but you turn it back again. And what people of the addiction they've lost, really, most people of being addicted, they've lost sense of themselves, of being themselves. They've lost it, and they're gaining it by going somewhere, by finding a relief of pain, finding a relief of depression, anxiety, being free to go to wander in this world by weed, or wander this world by shopping, by social media, just to find a sense of my thoughts matters, because this real life doesn't operate to them. And that's what we're supposed to do. To find a sense of their belonging, to find a sense of themselves, for them to be able to reconnect to their authenticity, to reconnect to their attachment, and for them to become one again. The purpose of any addiction rehab center or any mental health institute is to bring people into recovery, is to bring people into a place of sense of connecting. I want you to understand one thing, that the loss of self is the essence of trauma, and trauma is the fuel of addiction. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video was really impactful, and I wanted to tell you, if you are an addicted person that are watching this video, you are not late. You can start the journey of connect to your authentic self from within yourself, to know what you really desire, and you can change for the better. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.